Okay, guys, our next guest, like we have a pretty good schedule today, is Carlo Lio.
Yeah.
And
Hello.
welcome, Carlo, and his lovely wife, Heidi.
Yeah,
Wife,
hi.
not yet. But
Well, nearly close. Well, I thought to show you everything we tell you in theory actually is pretty working out in real life as well. I
Very
would
true.
like, yeah, I would like Carlo to tell us his story of developing his career, how he made it work that way, and what were like the major parts in that. And again, then you have the possibility to ask questions. And in case this doesn't cover the time that we have here, then we have another topic ready.
Cool. Shall
Carlo, yeah, it's your stage.
yeah, so basically, I grew up in Toronto, if you don't know. I grew up in basically the rave scene. Toronto was huge for underground raves, like massive 20, 30,000 people parties. So I was that kid that just went to parties and learned all this music from then. It was about, I think, 2005 or 2006 till about 2010 where I was just a regular partier. Then the city really cracked down on the raves, which left me with nothing, kind of like, what else can I do to have this music in my life? That's where I was just like, maybe I should be a DJ. So from then on, I started to mess around with music and all these little audio production softwares, which just kind of did all at one time and just learned as I go. Never went to school, just pushing buttons, see what does what and where it gets me. Yeah, so after doing that for a few years, it was, I think, when was it that my first track? 2000?
2005.
Oh yeah, maybe my timeline's a
Your
little wrong.
timeline's wrong. So it's
It's a-
2000 to 2005.
2000, sorry,
just
not
playing
2000,
around.
2000 to 2005. So
That's what I'm here for.
2005 to 2007 or 8, I was messing around with productions and stuff and music, and it was 2008 where Carl Cox was the first person to ever play one of my tracks, which for me, I never had confidence in like, is this good? You know, it was my friends that needed to be like, hey, this is a good track, you know, you should do something with it, do something with it. So I'm like, we ended up sending it to Carl's way, and sure enough, he hammered it for, I don't know, a year straight.
Yeah.
So from there on, it gave me like the motivation to be like, okay, maybe I can do this. So professionally or whatever, I was like, the main thing was patience. I was never in a rush. I was never, you know, a lot of people today, they make one track and it's like, here, release it, you know, I was the opposite way of thinking. So yeah, after I got all that recognition from Carl and playing the tracks is when I really said, okay, I have something here, and I started messing around with production more. I gave it everything, you know, went to school and just did music, that was my life. And then it was 2010, I believe, which was when Dubfire messaged me on MySpace.
On MySpace?
On MySpace.
Really?
So imagine waking up in the morning and being like getting a MySpace message from Dubfire. It's not something you expect. So he's asking me about this track that was already released on some small label, and I told him, yeah. He's like, can I put it out? I'm like, nah, I just released it, you know. I'm like, it was like killed me, you know. But whatever. That was the foot in the door with him. And yeah, after that, I started working on some side-tech releases, and then within a year's time, he basically took me under his wing, and I went from being like a local DJ in Toronto playing 4 gigs a week to, within, like I said, a few weeks, being an international DJ and touring all over the world with him for like 2 years straight.
Yeah.
So that was like the biggest stepping stone that really changed my life. And then from there on, I mean, it was kind of like that snowball effect, you know, with productions and with, you know, I guess you're a little bit of the hot guy right now, and it was just like everyone comes knocking and everything. It's a snowball effect. And yeah, here we are today. So those were, yeah, the key monuments in my life that really brought me here.
Like, and who is representing you? Ryan is doing the bookings?
Ryan is my agent, yeah.
Worldwide?
Worldwide,
And
yeah.
managing?
I don't have a specific manager yet. Yeah, Heidi, she tells me what to do
I
sometimes.
help out with the travel arrangements.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's management then.
Yeah, management will come soon. Like I said, I'm just patient for everything and just wait for the right timing. So right now things are rolling fine the way they are. So We'll see about a manager soon.
How do you keep like work-life balance together and like relationship with touring?
Me and
Yeah.
her? Yeah, I mean,
Maybe Heidi?
it's you know, it takes a special kind of person to be with someone with this life. I mean, you have to really understand the ins and outs of it from the beginning. And she's been in the scene just as long as I have, maybe even longer.
Probably longer.
Maybe even longer. She's been coming here longer than I have. So, you know, she knows how it is. She knows how much I've wanted this, and she's been supportive since day one. And one thing I always say to people is like, it's nice to miss somebody. It always keeps it fresh. So, you know, you always have that look forward feeling to coming home and seeing your girlfriend or whoever it is, family. So, as opposed to seeing someone every day and just being bored of them, you know. No offense, but
No, I
saying.
agree 100%.
I'm just saying, yeah, because it's mutual.
And
you
I
know,
love my
it's back and
king-size
forth.
bed sometimes by myself.
She gets the big bed by herself. So
But I
I mean,
always look
so
forward
it
to
works out. It's really like it's perfect, to be honest. And she's a teacher, so she works. She has two months of the summer off, which is
now?
starting right now.
Yeah.
So for 2 months, she comes and she just she
Does the summer.
toughs it out on all the flights and everything for a good 2 months, and we do the whole tour thing. Yeah,
Sounds
and it's been
perfect.
great. Yeah, it's been
Works
great.
well.
We look forward to it every year.
Do you guys have questions to Carlo in terms of for productions and career-wise?
I have also a wife, so how do you two keep up, because you had such a lot of gigs around the world then?
Right.
How do you...
Skype.
We definitely Skype a lot.
Yeah, Skype and like a lot of trust and not worrying and not stressing out about it, and just your wife has to have her own life, obviously, and that way
Yeah,
it will work.
We're both
'Cause
very,
we're both very busy
very
and
independent
independent.
people. So you know, we never like depend completely on each other. You know, if
Yeah.
I'm away for a week or she wants to do her own thing, like that's fine. We trust each other. Everything is cool.
Like
But-
I don't worry at all. So
Yeah, but like I said, the biggest thing is if you're, as long as your wife, your girlfriend is super supportive and knows this type of scene and this type of lifestyle, then it should not be a problem. But like I said, they're hard to find.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
got one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. That's a keeper.
Yep. Work.
What do you use in your studio? Is it only hardware or software?
I'm a pure
Or-
digital
only
producer. Yeah, I use Ableton, and everything else is straight plugins.
Okay.
I try to get that more analog-y sound as much as I can,
Yeah.
that warmth. I guess that's why I prefer something like Ableton over Logic, because I know Logic is great, don't get me wrong, but it has more of a clean-cut, crystal-y sound, whereas Ableton always had that grungy, you know?
Yeah.
The first thing I started using was, do you remember like Acid Pro? That was
I
like
was using Reason.
I was using Reason 2 like a long time ago for a little bit, which was cool, but it was just too much for me, I guess. But Acid, yeah, because I mean, I never went to school, right? The way I learned all these programs was just pushing every button, putting a loop on a channel, and putting every effect, and just seeing what is a wet and dry, what is a an oscillator, what is whatever, and that's kind of how I learned. So Acid was the easiest for me, and then from Acid to Ableton was a natural progression, versus like. Yeah, I guess from Logic you would be going from Cubase.
I don't know. I'm using Ableton as well. So
Yeah, you like it?
yeah,
It's the
I do.
best.
Mhm.
Yes, for ease of use and to get something going quick, especially my sound is more loopy, techie stuff. It's perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Some DJs' careers start really slowly and they're working hard step by step. It seems like you came from being a local DJ to Cytec. How was that? Wasn't that overwhelming to go from hero
Yes,
to zero?
it
zero
was.
to hero?
It was definitely overwhelming because from being just like you said, a local DJ to playing all the biggest clubs in the world with one of your idols, eating at the most amazing restaurants, and obviously, and staying at these crazy hotels that I'm just like, I don't need to stay in this place. It's too nice. You know what I mean? So it is. It's definitely overwhelming. But obviously you will get used to it. But in terms of my actual career, it still was. I still feel like it was a progression because, like you said, obviously there's guys that they'll get big off one track over one night, and then next year they're touring everything, like everywhere. So I felt like I kind of did have those steps still because I had those patience, from production to, maybe the gig stuff went a little bit quicker, but even still now, every year that goes by, it's still like this, as opposed to like this, which I don't mind because I have patience and I like working for everything, you know, I've achieved. So
It's better
yeah,
than
it's a nicer feeling.
Yeah.
I've done something, you know, I've worked for it. So
When you come up to SciTech, that's obviously a really big brand or a
sure.
But what could be the next level then?
There's always something. I mean, okay, SciTech is obviously a big brand, but then you know you have Minus, you have Bedrock, you have all these other labels. So every year I always have a goal of another label that I want to eventually be on, you know, Drumcode or whoever. So last year my goal was to be with Bedrock, and you know I ended up doing stuff with John and had a release and remix this track. So I'm always setting goals every year because there's not just one label or one family. You see the whole scene right now segregated into like more crews, right? You have the Enter guys, you have the SciTech guys, you have Drumcode guys. So there's always another goal for me to try to achieve. Definitely.
Guys?
Yep.
How do you actually choose where you actually gonna play your gigs? If you, for an example, if you have two offers for the same day,
Right.
are you looking for more money, or
Never,
are you looking
never.
for a place where you have never been before, or
I'm just looking for the better party, something that I'm gonna enjoy and the people are gonna enjoy. I will take a show of 150 people that I know is gonna be crazy, over a show of 5,000 people that I'm not iffy or I have no idea about.
yeah? How
know?
do you know that it's gonna be great party if you have
If
never
it's two
been
that
there?
I've never played
So,
before,
yeah.
well,
you need to
I always
get
do
more
research.
material, or yeah.
I always do a little bit of research.
okay.
I always Google the club. I'll always see what DJs have been playing there. So if my sound does fit, yeah, just stuff like that. You know, because if you're just gonna sit there and take the money, then
Yeah,
you're
of
probably
course.
gonna end up playing the shittier
I'm
gig.
asking because I'm dealing with managers with bringing DJs to my country.
Right.
And, I need to send like hundreds of emails to just show them that it's a good story going on in my club. So
Right.
you know,
Where
so
Where are you from?
I'm from Bosnia, so it's a
Okay.
strange place to,
Right.
to
I've
play
never been
music.
there. I don't
but
know much about-
the atmosphere over there on parties.
It's amazing, yeah?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
amazing. We have those big events with 10,000 people, and we also have a club scene,
Mm-hmm.
which is not so. I mean, it's not like every week you have few clubs, but we
Right.
have like two clubs that work really well, you know, with
Sure.
a good atmosphere. So Kaiser Disco, they played in my club like twice.
They loved it.
Yeah, they loved it. They were amazed. Actually, they released their album in that time. It was, what was the name? I don't know. Actually, they made the official video.
Okay.
In my city.
Oh,
they
wow.
loved it so much.
So much
the
that they-
city itself and the
Yeah.
club atmosphere and everything. And they made a video after they got back to Germany.
Right.
And they just sent me an email like,
Thank
take
you.
a look at
Yeah.
this. And I was so amazed. And then I actually called him again the next year on this big festival.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That says a lot about
Yeah.
that. You know, I always look for those little gem clubs that are not so known but are the most amazing party. One specific club comes to mind in Portugal. It's I don't know if you've been Gare Club.
Yeah.
And this was like a small place. Like I played a couple years for the first time, and I messaged Ali right away. I'm like, Ali, you have to play here. And now he's like every time open to close. That's what we look for. Money, I mean, for some people, yeah, sadly
Yeah,
it does
but
come
I
first.
always
But
get in those kind of situations when it's about money. It's
I know.
about they don't do research at all.
They don't,
They
that's-
just need to have more material, and I'm sending like hundreds of links. You see, guys.
But that's wrong. That's too
Yeah.
much information, maybe.
Yeah.
I think if you look for people who
No,
promote your
but they
work,
are asking for it.
well,
Yeah.
then call Kaiser Disco and tell them that they
some,
should explain.
yeah, sometimes it just takes
really
one
good.
DJ to just
Yeah.
be like, yo, tell your friends type thing. It was
Preach.
that good. Yeah, you have a guy, tell him to just spread the word. It goes a lot further than, you know, just the standard way of promoting.
Yeah.
Charlie?
Do you feel like the SciTech thing has opened a lot of doors for you? I mean, with the labels, are you in a position now where you can just choose your label, or is it hard to?
It definitely gives you the credibility, which, you know, guys will now take a second look or listen to your demo. Even like if I don't know if you guys own a label or anything. Like I own Rawthentic, and you get all these demo emails, and you can't listen to them all. That's just the nature of the business. But you know, when you get a guy that says, "Hey, so and so, I've released on these labels that I know," then you'll tend to maybe listen to it before something else. So yeah, side techs definitely give you that that credibility to open doors and have people definitely listen to your stuff. So it's a little bit easier to get, send demos than it was years ago for sure.
But do you at least open all the emails? I mean, because
Say yes.
Yes, I do.
Otherwise, it doesn't sleep well.
no, but I mean, if you're supposed to explain on what labels you have been releasing on, are you supposed to do that in the subject, or just to make sure? Come on,
listen,
give me a chance or something.
you're okay. You're not supposed to, but it's just another way to raise that listener's eyebrow faster than the 500 other guys a week that are sending you those demos.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, good
Anyone?
question.
Obviously, our situations are different. We also have to think about when we are up and coming how we would present ourselves with image and stuff like that. Do you have made some decisions regarding your image? Maybe it's a management thing, but how would you like to expose yourself?
Yeah, I mean, in this business, obviously, image is half the battle because, you have to definitely have a good one. But for me, I mean, I've always been an easy, laid-back, chill type guy, and that's why I've taken like a big respect to guys like Carl Cox and Dubfire, because they are like just anybody could go up to them anywhere and just talk to them and ask them. You could sit there and talk to Carl for 20 minutes, and he'll talk to you for 20 minutes, whereas most people will rush out of there. So I've had that type of personality, so I've just kind of been myself, and it's been working. Yeah.
Very humble.
Yeah, humble is an image, I guess, right?
So you don't choose his clothes and his
No.
designers.
No, that's his thing.
Carlo, take
Yeah.
this one.
It's the other way around.
It's the other way around. Yeah. Like
Put on
it.
this little skirt. Yeah.
Yeah. He's always trying to get me to wear these ridiculous outfits.
Just gotta try, man.
Anyone? Please.
What will be your advice for the upcoming producers when they are sending demos to the labels? The best way, like, to promote and to have a listen from you or from
Yeah, it's definitely a hard question for me because when I was sending demos, it was like a completely different time. Even just, I was going to the actual club that I wanted to play at to hand out a CD, and I might have been one or two of the guys handing out CDs. Now on Facebook, there's 2,000 sets posted a day. So it's definitely a different time. But I mean, the only thing I can say is just know the label that you're sending to, because, even myself, I don't have a huge label, but you get a lot of music that that these guys.
The thing is that, sorry, I already sent you some demos.
Oh, I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
Custom rebels.
Ah, really? Amazing.
Yeah.
Congrats.
And
That's dope.
It's nice because on Transition 498, Digwood played one of my tracks and one of your tracks also on the same set. And
Amazing. Yeah, like I said, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say I listen to every single
course,
demo
I know.
because I do miss a bunch. And I was having some help with the label as well. At one point right now, I'm not. And I've kind of started even another project, so it's taken a little bit of focus off Rawthentic for a little bit. But yeah, it's I guess the luck of the draw sometimes, Yeah, sometimes I'll go and I'll clean out 500 emails, and sometimes I'll miss 500 emails. It's no disrespect to like anything, to anyone. It's just sometimes how it is. Time is, I don't have a lot of it,
Wonderful.
Anyone else?
Anything else? I think actually we covered a lot.
Yeah,
Because
cool.
you have another interview coming up, and
Okay.
then we have lunch.
Perfect.
So I think that's it. Thanks, guys.
Excellent. Guys, thank you. Amazing. Awesome.
Great. Thanks.
Pleasure.
Thanks
Thanks for
Carlo.
having me, man.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks.
Thank you.